Okay, welcome to our farm. My mom and dad, they bought this farm in 1950 for, it was 77 acres for $22,000. There was a lot of money back then, but I think they sell this land next door for like $250,000. Back in '97, I followed, for some reason, I followed Cornerstone 2020 when it was being written and everything, and I would go to the public meetings just to hear what they did and everything, and I found out we lived then, and this was all changed to natural progression, because I watched the whole Bluegrass Industrial Park. You know, that's like one of the employs about 40,000 people. But what got me really going was how we don't follow our land development code. You know, in that Cornerstone 2020, they developed a farm, F-O-R-M, farm districts, and this was suburban workplace. Well, what you have in an undeveloped area, it reminds me of like when I was in grade school learning about carpetbaggers, I think. You know, didn't people like come in, you know, try to take advantage of people? What you have is, it seems like when an area is gets on people's radar screen,
since a little kid. I've worked on several farms and just ended up loving it. Would do it for a living if I could. If I could make it.
And Brian, can you tell like why you leave some of these fields or areas grow up with the flowers and everything?
If you notice over there's a lot of clover in it, and it attracts bees, and it's good for the pollination on our gourds and our pumpkins.
But anyway, even though we were in that suburban workplace, these guys, they was going to put in a R4 subdivision right next door to us. And I said, you know, that's supposed to be suburban workplace. Plus, I had knowledge of the sewers, and Tina knows about this. See, we went beyond the boundaries of the Jeffersontown sewer plant. And they had this little piece of paper, exemption to the sewer plant. You know, that sewer plant was on a state sanction because it was overflowing into Chenoweth Run Creek, which runs into Floyd's Park. Every time I watched it my whole childhood, that thing just overflowing raw sewage into the creeks for years. So, you know, I wrote letters in about that. And they had already cut the road.
Consequently, it's been able to be unmolested and to turn into this beautiful chunk that we've still got here. And people like me, the guy who had this land before me, used to grow corn. This was a cornfield 10 years ago. But then other people like me have been able to come in here, put a little you know, livestock operation on here. And the land is ideal for that. This is the limestone ridge coming down here, you know, because you cycled up it. God love you. Limestone is especially suited to growing bluegrass, and because we're on a ridge here, it's well drained, which keeps my sheep's feet in good shape. So this little chunk of land is ideally suited geologically to what I want to do. When I got here, I planted my pastures in bluegrass and used clover with that for nitrogen fixing. I've never added any fertilizer. All you really need to do, if you do it right to begin with, is to keep it mowed. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you use what to fix the nitrogen?
Clover. Clover. I use white clover. Now you plant your pastures. If you do it right to begin with, you don't have to add fertilizer. So that's what I do. I use sustainable agricultural practices throughout the farm. It seems to me the only sensible thing to do. And it makes life easy. If you go with the flow, if you let the animals do what they're supposed to do is take care of them in a sustainable way. This has been, everybody wins, I think, at the end of the day. It's very much modeled on British farming, which has been, those little farms have had to be sustainable for a long, long time because they don't have all the land to trash and
you want me to put some stuff? I've got a M&T stuff up on the farm, and I decided, in fact, I'll probably give it to some young man.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Do give me a call.
Okay.
Feel free to come back again sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Most of the
Franny, I
dogs
got
don't have
another
that.
acre
These
sold.
white dogs have these beautiful eyes, but they're
That's
like
assuming I have
2,000
2,000.
eyes.
Their coats will carefully actually
We'll
buy
clean
out
it and help us with this paste thing.
It's a shame we have all this food and have hungry people, you know?
I really like this thing.
I know.
Work for you, though.
Not writing, actually. Yes, I do that.
But, you know, I mean, I help train.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Frank. I didn't know if you mentioned this.
Train videos out from community college. We're like,
Oh, I'm sorry. You might have seen a little disc by the gate out there. I think they're so pretty. Yeah, in 2007, at my daughter's urging, I should say, we put the farm in conservation easement with the Louisville Jefferson County Environmental Trust, which preserves its use 1/3 for agriculture, 2/3 for wildlife habitat in perpetuity. This is attached to the deed. It's still mine. I can sell it. My daughter can sell it. We can do all kinds of things, moving it around to people. They don't too much tell me what to do, but it will never ever be developed. So I put, you know, my money where my mouth is with that one. So this little chunk of land, as agriculture and as wildlife habitat, is preserved.
Do you have to pay to do something like that?
Well, you got to pay attorneys because, you know, they need to
My grandfather has a farm and it's for sale near Georgetown, but it would be nice if they could do something like
There
that.
are, you should talk to me afterwards because I work with the Louisville Jefferson County Environmental Trust, and so I know a little bit about land trust alliances, and we could see what there is out that area.
And
Tina works with the,
Right, there's
can you talk about
I'm
that?
on the state PACE board, purchase of agricultural conservation easements, and what they actually do is, there has to be a lot of assessments done and everything else, evaluation and you know, looking at everything, but they actually pay the person for their property, and the person gets to keep their property, but it always has to be forever farmland.
For agricultural use.
For agricultural use.
It's a really great program. We should.
Oh, yeah, I can tell you where to call.
Yeah, can we give her some contact information?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Franny, can you mention that 400 acres just outside?
Yeah, yes, the nightmare, 400-acre farm over here. The people are non-resident. It was an investment for them or something, I don't know. They didn't really farm it, it just kind of sat over there forever. When I moved here, I talked to the guy behind me, he knew those people. Mr. Logan said he wasn't going to develop it, he was just going to maybe leave it to the city or, you know, leave it for parkland. He wanted it to be an open, serene space. Then about 4 years ago, suddenly we were contacted by developers telling us about the plan for the Logan property, which was 1,300 homes and a complete nightmare that would put me out of business. It would foul Floyd Fork with you know, the worst pollution now. Back then they were still endangered. Since the 1970s, when people started really working on preserving the traditional genetic diversity in our livestock, there's really been tremendous progress made. A lot of breeds that were really on the verge of extinction, like the Shetlands, are now just on the watch list because we found a place for them where they can be economically viable and where they work. So I raised my Shetlands and my Goatland ponies. They're I believe on the next one up from the watch list now.